Kusuzongpula everyone. Welcome to another episode of Tashi Cells podcast. I'm your host Ring Bida and today we have an inspiring figure and an idol for many young people. She is one of the top travel bloggers from Bhutan. Traveling in and around the country, she is not only a top blogger and vlogger of the country but also a published author, a climate activist, an influencer and many more. We have Sring Denkar, popularly known as Denkarsgetaway. So welcome on Tashi Cells podcast. La.
Wow, that was a flattering introduction. Thank you so much, String, for a wonderful intro and having me for your podcast.
Okay, now let's jump to the first question. That is, what triggered you to travel around the country and write stories?
Okay, so by now, I'm sure many people might be aware of why I started traveling. Primarily, it's because my passion is traveling, and in traveling, I find my bliss and happiness. And the reason why I in particularly started to travel within the kingdom is because I really wanted Bhutanese people to realize how beautiful our country is. I wanted Bhutanese people to take domestic tourism seriously, and I eventually wanted to contribute to the travel literature, and that's exactly why I started to blog, I started to vlog, where I incorporated videography. So ever since, it's been a really amazing journey. It's been 5 good years.
Now, your book, The Tourist Within, is the best-selling book in the country. So,
Mhm.
can you inspire me and our listeners about your journey as a writer? You have to travel and keep your followers updated, and on top of that, you have to keep on writing.
Yeah.
So, how do you manage that much of time?
I think not many people asked me this, but I tell you, the secret is again the passion again, because I said my passion is to travel, and then largely to also contribute to the travel literature. So every time I travel to places, I meet amazing people. At the end of the day, like, of course, I wouldn't be traveling at midnight, right? I wouldn't be trekking at midnight. So that's the time where I sort of sit down, digest, process the whole journey that I would have taken in the daytime. And then that would be the time where I would sit down and like take time to write, reflect. And that's exactly how my book, The Tourist Within, came into this planet. It was basically an anthology, basically the compilation of all the blogs which I wrote during my travel time. And then eventually, after 5 years, I was able to publish my first book. And I think sky is only the limit. Like, if you really want to do something, I mean, we tell to our younger youths, I mean, we tell to younger people saying, like, if you want to do something, focus on one thing. But for me, that doesn't work. Like, if I want to do so many things, I think that's totally doable. If you have passion, if you have drive, no matter the task, you just get it done. So I got it done being a traveler and now a writer. And yeah, sky is the limit.
That's really inspiring, and I think if I have to be like you, then I have to be as proactive as Denkar and then keep
Yeah,
traveling
you
and
have
doing.
to work hard.
Yeah, maybe that's all about passion.
Yeah.
Now, I have to ask you, as a
Okay.
person who travels the nook and corner of the country with your cell phone, and I think you're traveling with your cell phone, making all the
Yeah,
videos like.
GoPro as well.
Okay,
Mm.
so with your cell phone and having to keep your followers updated about your destination, what do you have to say about the network connections you get there?
Mm. Okay, so now we are finally connecting with the network. Uh, One thing, there are like several right? List of things, or list of, I don't know, checklists that I check before traveling and trekking. So the most important thing besides my devices to film is, of course, the network. Every time I plan to travel somewhere, go for pilgrimage or go for a trek, I always make sure I check whether there is network availability or accessibility or not. So network, as an Amatashi cell user, and that's exactly why we are here together, right? So every time I've traveled to places, I've not really found like difficulty finding network. Like, honestly, not because I'm using Tashi cell I'm saying this, but I've been to, like, you go to Jomalhara, you go to Lingji, and you go to other mountains, you always find Tashi cell barsi, either like one bar, if not four, at least you find like one bar, which makes your life a little comforting. I mean, just the fact knowing the fact that there's one bar of, I don't know, like network, at least eases your mind. So in that sense, I've always found comfort in Tashicel network, and that's exactly why I always advocate, or I always promote Tashicel, being an avid user myself. And it's very ironic, Messi. Sometime I trek knowing or wanting to be away from people, away from social media, but then again, just because like I want to trek or I want to go away in a mountain doesn't mean like I need no network, right? As a, like you said, as a social media influencer, as a blogger, as a traveler, I always like to keep things updated. Like if I've done this thing today, then I like to post it today, otherwise tomorrow it loses charm. So for now, like at least like until now, I think my journey with the network connectivity has been amazing, amazing. There was only one point where I was literally in blackout zone. That could be in Manas. I think any network doesn't work there. Mein. Manas na. Then lately I went to Tumdrane, so there was no internet. I think there was no internet. That was like at the border of India, and even Indian SIM or network did not work. So that was exception. Otherwise, the network connectivity is amazing. Kudos to Tashisel.
Thank you
Yeah.
for the last note.
Yeah.
And like it's all about like going places and touching lives. And for
Mhm.
someone like you
Right.
who travel to the mountains and showing the lives in the mountains to the
Right.
people who are living in the urban areas like Thimphu,
Mhm.
so it's really inspiring.
Thank you.
And now you're an avid user of our products and services.
All right.
What do you have to say about the internet lease line from Tashicel? And how long have you been using it? And how was your experience so far?
Okay, so Tashi, Tring is touching on internet lease line because I've been using internet lease line when I'm not traveling. Well, I think that's one of my absolute favorite one besides my own data on my phone. But when I'm at work, especially being a content creator, like as people might be already aware that we use so much of contents, so much of network to post, to upload, to download. And I love Instagram and I love YouTube, right? So every time you browse on these social media platform, I mean, it's very expensive. Like honestly, it's very expensive. But well, having subscribed to 4G internet, my life has become very easier in the sense, at least I don't have to worry about the time that I would take to download something or upload something. Or let's say, because of the fastness of the internet connectivity, my life has become very easier, especially when I work from office and when I work from home. And also that device is so portable, right? So yeah, I need that way. So I, like I said, I like to exploit things. Like if I have something or if I own something, I make sure I use it to 101%. So that device is something which I carry home after my office usage and bring it to my office next day. So in that sense, I think it has become, the world has become only smaller with the introduction of smaller and portable device. So yeah, I love 4G and even like 5G device. Love it.
Yeah, very true. Like, just many of our
Mhm.
youths. I'm also mostly on Instagram and YouTube, and these,
TikTok.
yeah, TikTok also,
Ah,
and
ah,
these have huge data consumption.
yeah,
So if you have internet lease line, like you get unlimited internet
exactly.
just for like 1,350, you get two
Mm-hmm.
Mbps. So which is very enough for I think
Mm-hmm.
two or three
Mm-hmm.
people. So that's very recommendable. And
Yeah.
also, I forgot to mention in the earlier question that our network is also available in Singizon and Ajane.
Exactly, exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That was actually shocking for me. I was like, internet in Singisong and Arjane. Yeah, it shouldn't have been there, but I'm glad it is there.
Yes, because we have lots of travelers there,
Right.
and we want to make sure that
Mm.
our travelers and pilgrims they have a good trip, and
And they are
also
connected, yeah.
stay connected
Mm.
to. Mostly the parents are traveling, so they can stay connected with their children back at home. Then I want to ask what future plans you have into
Mm.
blogging, or do you want to keep traveling, or do you have other plans in your mind?
Wow. I think I have many plans under the pipeline. But you know what? Because we are talking about connectivity and network thing, maybe I'll share you one plan. That is, I'll be actually hopefully be trekking one of the toughest trek in Bhutan, which is Snowman Trek. So far I have checked the network connectivity in many mountain passes that I've been to, and Tashisel has pretty passed the test, right?
Okay.
So this time I'll be trekking Snowman Trek,
Oh.
which is literally like climbing more than 6,000 meters game mountain. So there, I would love to test Tashiselgi network connectivity. So yeah, that's my plan for now. I'll definitely get back to you and let you know if Tashisel network works there or not. So yeah, for now, that's one of my biggest project this year. Yeah.
So, like, how long will that snowman track be?
Bloody 30 days. Only 30 days.
Oh my god. So, like, how, like, are you
Mm,
going to come with a documentary or a
mm.
blog?
I think I'll come with both. My goal is actually to document, but technically I know it's going to be very challenging for me. There's no electricity there. Most of the stations they won't have electricity. Network I doubt big time, but because I've not really been there, so I can't really comment on that. But yeah, 30 days, and it's known to be the longest and most challenging trek in Bhutan. So 2023 is trekking and conquering that mountain.
Oh, so I'm so excited for that one. I would like to wish you a very good luck for your snowman trek because I'm really waiting for that documentary and the blog to come.
Wow.
And sadly, that will be the end of today's podcast. And I would like to thank Denkar for joining us
All
here
right.
to talk about your adventure and also talking about how,
Tashisel.
yes, how your experience has been with Tashisel.
Mhm.
So that's all. If you have last few words for our listeners here.
Well, thank you again for having me. I think this is the shortest podcast that I've
Yeah.
ever done. But it's been a really brief and really interactive session. Like I said, I would really like to thank Tashi Sel for being very forthcoming, even in terms of collaboration. Like content creators needs support, and Tashi Sel does that. Everyone pretty much knows. So yeah, I would like to take this opportunity to really thank Tashi Sel, and I would also like to thank Tashi Sel on behalf of all the Tashi Sel users for being so user friendly, for basically making our life easier and keeping us connected with our loved ones, with people far and beyond. So thank you, Tashisel, and thank you for making me part of this podcast.
Okay, thank you for a very sweet message. Thank you for listening, everyone. Get in touch with Tashisel for our products and services, and keep yourselves updated with our frequent offers through our social media pages. Thank you for listening.